Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, May 2nd to Saturday, May 8th. So last week we had a lot of transforming to do, a lot of adjustments to do. We were still very much under the influence of that full moon in Scorpio, alchemizing the pain into power, the darkness into light, aligning the mind, body, and soul within before we can start seeing the changes, the shift in our physical realities. We definitely are still feeling the adjustment from Pluto, the full moon in Scorpio's ruler, going retrograde in Capricorn. We are going to have the next 6 months of an inner exploration, focusing in on the dark parts, the shadow parts, the fears, the insecurities, the obsessions that we are overly attached to. And of course, Pluto has a beautiful way of providing a clean-cut death, a pure destruction to any kind of old system, old habit, old way of thinking, old relationship that is keeping us stuck in a holding pattern and of course preventing us from moving forward. We had a very electric kind of day on Friday with the sun making all kinds of aspects with the major heavy hitting planets, mostly that electric energy coming from Uranus. There's definitely wild card events. I actually had a mini crisis with my dog getting porcupine quilled for the first time. And if you are a fur mama like myself, that is super traumatic, probably more so for the dog mama instead of the actual dog. So after a very, very traumatic experience, a long night, a very expensive night in the doggy ER, everybody is resting, everybody is fine and dandy. Just a coincidence that it happened at the exact same time that wild card energy, that disruptor of Uranian energy hit the sun. So of course, in my life, I'm always looking to kind of connect everything back to astrology, and that is how I spent last week. So this week, we do have a lot of beautiful energy really taking over. We are very much now in a brand new month. We are in the month of May, a very life-changing, very pivotal, very highly charged month. I'm going to go ahead and encourage you to listen to May's energy forecast, and on my social media, or if you're a subscriber, you should have gotten a link to the Astro Tarot forecast for the month. I am going to also encourage you to go ahead and invest $11 into yourself to prepare yourself for all the ups and downs that May is going to bring by downloading your Zodiac monthly forecast. And with all of that being said, we are jumping into May with a beautiful energy, a beautiful support with the moon in Capricorn. But this morning, the moon will transition into Aquarius late around 4:30 p.m., locking into that Aquarian energy, kind of freeing us, liberating us from some of the very heavy weighted thoughts and emotions that would have been illuminated for us towards the end of last week. And of course, getting down to the nitty gritty of what needs to be done. With the moon in Aquarius, now we're acting as the observer. We get to kind of float up out of our physical experience, kind of see the bigger, grander picture here, and logically, practically think about what it is we're going to do to move forward, to bust away from where it is we're feeling held back from the restrictions in our life. Of course, this Aquarian energy is a little bit rebellious, and we definitely want to be a little bit more independent and a little bit more free. So as if that transition from going to the earthy, heavy, weighted energy from that moon in Capricorn to the moon in Aquarius wasn't a jolt enough, we do have 7 moon aspects taking place here today. The trine with Venus. Venus is actually going to be wrapping up her life lessons here this week as she comes down off of the throne she's been sitting on in Tauran energy before making her way into Gemini. So the moon trining with Taurus here today is going to really put a bigger, broader perspective, a big picture outlook on what it is that we are lacking in self-love, in self-care, in our connections, in our intimate relationships, and the stability, the emotional stability that we are currently craving. The moon continues on to sextile with Neptune, giving us a lot of dreamy manifestation energy to work with here. Definitely seeing where it is that we are lacking in some areas and how it is that we are going to fill that cup up. The moon is actually going to be conjunct sitting next to Pluto, who is fresh in his retrograde. And this is going to make for a little bit of an intensity in that energy shift throughout the day, really focusing on where it is we need to cut the cord with some loose ends, some not so good thoughts and habits, maybe even some connections in our life. Again, Pluto, ruling over death and destruction, just wants to clean the slate for us to have a deep transformation, first inside, then of course in our exterior realities. The moon goes ahead and trines with Mercury, really opening up our mental plane to align with our heart space, with all these new aha moments of brilliance. These new insights, these new perspectives are really changing how it is that we're thinking and feeling. This is really going to be amplified when the moon makes an aspect with Chiron, that wounded healer planetoid. This is going to give us, yes, a good awareness on where it is that the wounds are still fresh, the wounds are still open, but now we're tapping into not only our heart space, but our mental plane in order to see how it is that we're actually making progress in healing some of these wounds, transforming our mind, body, and soul inside before, again, we're going to see that shift take place in our exterior realms. The day kind of ends off with Venus sextiling Neptune. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy. This is an imaginative energy. This is where we really become hypersensitive and in tuned to our heart space, to our thinking as far as relationships go, as far as money matters go, and of course, planning for the future goes. This is a magical time to actually manifest. And because we are moving into a very pivotal position for the moon, this is going to be time to really focus in first and foremost on your mind's eye, on the vision, the goals, the dreams that you have for yourself, what it is that you're working towards actually manifesting. And of course, really being very clear realistically with your plans on what it is that you're actually able to be manifesting.